everyone, welcome to Buy Now Sell Now Weekend, the show where we discuss all of your viewer queries and of course get you top technical as well as fundamental picks. I'm Mubina Kapasi and we have a jam-packed show for you today. First up, some stocks that we'll be discussing on the show will be liquor maker United Spirits as well as newly listed Quess Corp. And in our portfolio segment, we'll also be discussing Manoj Dhanani's portfolio on the show. So let's get straight to it and invite all of our guests to join us on the show. First up, we have Vikas Sethi, the MD at Sethi Finmart, to join us to give us a fundamental perspective on stocks. And on the technicals, Chandan Taparia, the derivatives and technicals analyst with Anand Rathi Financial Services, joins us. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. Now let's get on board our very first query coming in, and it is from Kiran Kumar Nirela. He has sent us two queries via email. Now, his first query is regarding United Spirits. He says he's bought 200 shares of United Spirits purchased at a price point of 2,500 rupees per share, and he wants to know if he must hold or sell this stock with a time horizon of 6 months. Now, United Spirits is one stock that has had quite a choppy ride, really. We have seen this stock crack quite a bit in trade. As you can see, in the last week itself, succumbing to the general market pressure, it has slipped. But to tell you a bit about the company, it just released its Q2 numbers, and it has been a bit disappointing. A muted volume growth really seen, mostly on the back of the pressure that they have faced because of the Bihar liquor ban. The prestige segment of the sales, which of course is a higher margin generator, has grown only about 12%, but it has of course contributed a major chunk of its sales. So Mr. Sethi, over to you then. United Spirits, what would you advise our viewer to do on a fundamental basis? How does this stock look?
Yeah, Mubina, as far as United Spirits is concerned, the investor has bought this at a higher level and it's sitting on substantial losses. But still, I feel since he only has a time horizon of 6 months, I would recommend that he should sell this stock, because I feel consumption story would be a bit down for the next, say, few months because of the recent steps on black money which the government has taken. And furthermore, the ban on liquor by some states also is a big negative. So I'd recommend a sell, book loss, and then switch to an IDFC bank. And the reason why I like IDFC bank I would like to discuss it during the show later on.
Fair enough. IDFC Bank is a stock that you may switch over to. Not very positive on United Spirits. Chandan, come in on the technicals then of this stock. You know, it has cracked significantly. In fact, it has now moved even below Diageo's purchase price at which they have bought United Spirits. So on the technicals, on the charts, how do you think United Spirits will shape up, especially in the viewer's time horizon of 6 months?
Yes, United Spirits has been falling down from last 20 months and making lower top, lower bottom formation. However, the trend is negative, but it has gone into the deep oversold territory. So it might get some stability, but need to hold above 2150 kind of zone to witness some buying traction in the stock. So as of now, the trend is negative. If it sustains about 2150 on the technical basis, then only we may hope for a bounce back move. While if selling pressure may continue, then the stock can test the 1800 kind of level. So as of now, the trend is not giving any sign. Let the stock give some stability, then only we can reply on the same. He can shift to the better counter. There are many stocks from the media space as well as the metal counter, oil and gas stock which are doing well. He can also shift in the banking stocks. Selective PSU banks has bottomed out and witnessing some buying interest. So the better idea would be shift to the other counter. And for this counter, if it sustains about 20 and 50, then only we get sign for the stability for next coming trading sessions.
Okay, watch out for those levels that Chandan has just mapped out for you. You may actually consider shifting to other counters like in the metal space or in the banking space. But Kiran Kumar has another query, and this time it is regarding Quess Corp. He says he's bought 200 shares, equal amount of Quess Corp purchased at 640 rupees per share, and he wants to know whether to hold or sell with the same time horizon of about 6 months. Remember, Quess Corp is relatively, of course, a new listing, and it has been able to post quite a robust Q2. Really, it has decided to acquire 3 companies, one of them being based in Singapore. And apart from that, 2 Bengaluru-based acquisitions as well, Taparia Security and Simpliance. All of these purchases in line to help increase their EBITDA margins, aid growth. And most importantly, remember that since it's a new listing, the stock has close to doubled since its listing back in June. Mr. Sethi, over to you then. What do you think are the prospects for this company for the 6 months time horizon?
Yeah, Mubina, it was a very good listing, but unfortunately the investor has bought it at a pretty high level. So he's sitting on some losses, but I think if he's willing to give some time to the stock, it's a very good company. It's providing mainly technology services to companies and manpower consultancy. So I think there are very good prospects for the company. So if he's willing to wait out for a year, I think he can see his price as well as some profits on the stock. I have a target of 750 rupees on the stock in about a year.
Okay, 750 is the target that Mr. Sethi has for this stock, but it's a one-year time horizon, so probably some patience would be required. Of course, do remember that Thomas Cook as well owns a stake rather in this company. But Chandan, over to you on the charts. How do you see Quess Corp shape up?
Yes, talking about Quess Corp, comparatively, the medium-term trend is positive. The stock has witnessed sustained buying near to 500, 510 levels, and now holding above 600 may probably take it to 675 to 700 zone. So my suggestion is to hold with the stock. It has potential to move up. Let it hold above 600. You will see the movement of 15 to 20% in the counter.
Okay, I think there's a consensus hold really coming in on the technicals as well as the fundamentals. Kiran Kumar, I hope we've been able to answer both of your queries. Let's just slip into a short break right here on the show. But on the other side, we'll be discussing Manoj Dhanani's portfolio. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and it's time for our portfolio segment, this place where we'll be discussing an individual viewer's portfolio, and this time around we'll be discussing Manoj Dhanani's portfolio. So let's tell you a little bit about our viewer. He's 50 years of age, and as an occupation he's primarily an investor, though of course he does have a fairly short-term time horizon to call himself an investor of about 6 months. So very quickly, let's run you through all of the stocks that find a place in his portfolio. First up, it's CESC, purchased at 692 rupees, 600 shares over there. Groho Finance as well in the housing finance space, 500 shares bought at 274 rupees. And then there's India Cements, 1,000 shares over there, bought at 110 rupees, where he seems to be making some profits. Moving on in the PSU banking space, it's Indian Overseas Bank, bought at 28.5 rupees, 1,000 shares over there. Another 1,000 shares, Vindra Prasad Medical, bought at 52.5 rupees. And then a relatively small cap stock, Nandan Denim, 500 shares purchased at 133 rupees. And amid the Tata Group companies, it's Rallis India, 100 shares bought at 164 rupees. That stock seems to be doing very well for him. Sharon Bio as well, 4,000 shares, quite a large purchase over there, and bought at a price of 53, which is currently being a pain point as well for him. And there's Tech Mahindra, he has bought about 200 shares of that one for a price point of 564 rupees. So those are, of course, all of the stocks in his portfolio. Mr. Sethi, then let's start off with the first three stocks in his portfolio. CESE, bought at 692 rupees, Groho Finance at 274, and India Cements at 110. But starting off with CESE, which currently seems to be a pain point for him.
Yeah, again, he's bought CSC at a higher level, sitting on some losses. The stock actually recently corrected a bit after the West Bengal government did not allow the company to increase or hike tariffs. But I feel if he's sitting on, he's willing to hold this stock from a long-term point of view, he should not be worried. This is a quality stock and trades at a reasonable valuation compared to its peers in the power sector. So I'm bullish on the stock from the current levels, and I see an upside of 30 to 35% in about a year. And the other stock which he owns is Groho Finance. It's a quality housing finance company. Although housing finance stocks have also been correcting over the last couple of days after the government's crack on black money. But I feel this also is a quality stock. He's sitting on some profits, but he should continue to hold on to the stock, and I have a target of 400 rupees on the stock in about a year. And the third stock which he holds is an India Cement. This again is a good stock. The company has been doing well over the past few quarters. It's a leading south-based cement company where a lot of developmental activities are going on in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. The cement demand is quite robust, and the prices have also been increasing. So I see this stock also to be doing well, but because of similar kind of reasons that property prices could come down or construction activity could come down, the stock has also come down over the last couple of days. But I don't think he needs to worry if he is willing to wait for about a year. So from these levels, I think we could see substantial upside. I have a target of 175 rupees even on India Cement.
Okay, all three are hold calls. CESC, if you're willing to hold on for the long term, there may be some upside potential. A target of 800 is what Mr. Sethi is looking out for. Growth Finance and India Cements both have been correcting a bit on the back of the entire demonetization drive, but nevertheless, there is some more upside potential over there. So a hold call coming in on those two as well. Let's move on to the next three stocks in his portfolio, and starting off with IOB, a public sector bank which just delivered its Q2 results on Friday. He's bought it at about 28.5 rupees. Indra Prastha Medical bought at 52.5 rupees, and a small cap stock Nandan Denim at 133 rupees has also found a place in his portfolio. Mr. Sethi, come in on these three stocks.
Yeah, as far as Indian Overseas Bank is concerned, the company reported its numbers on Friday at the fag end of the market. The numbers were pathetic, and I would recommend a sell on this stock. He would be incurring pretty small loss, but then I think he should book those losses. And I would recommend him to be continuing with the banking sector, and my preference would be to invest those funds in banking stock like a Federal Bank where I'm bullish. So I would recommend a switch to Federal Bank. The other stock which he holds is Indra Prastha Medical. This is a good company which is into hospital and medical services business. The valuations are attractive compared to its peers. So I would recommend a hold on the stock, and I have a target of 80 rupees in about a year. And the third stock which he owns is Nandan Denim. It's a textile stock, doing well. The company has been doing pretty well over the past few quarters, and denim demand is also looking robust. So I would recommend a hold even on Nandan Denim with a target of 175 rupees in about a year.
Okay, IOB may not be such a good idea really to hold on to your portfolio. Replace that with a Federal Bank. But Indra Prastha Medical and Nandan Denim are still good to hold. But let's move on to the next three stocks from the Tata Group. It's Rallis India, purchased at 164 rupees. That stock seems to be doing very well for our investor. Sharon Bio at 53 is a big pain point for him, as the stock is currently languishing at about 10 rupees per share. And there's Tech Mahindra once again in the large cap IT space, which is a big pain point for him. He's purchased it at 564. Currently, the stock is languishing at about 430 rupees. Mr. Sethi, what would you say about these three stocks?
Yeah, as far as Rallis India is concerned, a fundamentally sound company which is into fertilizers and chemicals and agro-based stock. So now that we've had good monsoon, I think the company would continue to do well in the coming few quarters. So he's sitting on some profits, but I think his profits can go even higher. He could expect a substantial upside even from the current levels. So I would recommend a hold on this stock, and my target would be 250 rupees on this stock. The other stock would be Serum Biomedicine. This is a bad company, a weak balance sheet, and I don't think any justification for holding on to this kind of a company. So I would recommend a loss, although the loss would be big. But then he could book his losses and switch to a company like Granules India from the pharma space, mid-cap pharma space, which I like. This company looks good. This has also come down over the last couple of days in the carnage which we have witnessed in the market. So at the current levels of around 112, 113, this stock looks good. And if he's holding on to this stock for about a year, I think he could see an upside of 30 to 40% on the stock. And the final stock which he owns is Tech Mahindra. It's sitting on some losses, but I feel he should book his losses, because IT as a sector would be underperforming the markets in the next, say, 3 to 4 quarters. So I would recommend a sell on this stock, and rather I would recommend that he should switch to a frontline pharma company, Sun Pharma, which has recently reported its numbers. The numbers were excellent, and if the company comes out with good news on its Halol plant, where it's waiting for US FDA clearance, then that would see a substantial upside from the current levels. So I have a target of 950 rupees on Sun Pharma, which is currently quoting at around 700. So I think he could sell Tech Mahindra and switch to Sun Pharma.
Okay, Rallis India as a whole, target of 250 is what Mr. Sethi is looking out for. But Granules, or rather actually Sharon Bio and Tech Mahindra, you may just have to rip the band-aid and book your losses over there. Replace it with Granules and Sun Pharma, wherein of course the Halol clearance is something that's going to be a big positive trigger. I hope we've been able to answer all of your queries in relation to your portfolio, but do remember that this portfolio recommended here is a model portfolio. Please do consult your individual investment advisors before taking any investment decisions. Time to take a short break, but on the other side, we'll be discussing all the action that took place in the markets and, of course, the top technical as well as fundamental calls. Welcome back. Thanks for staying on with us. This is BNSN Weekend, and boy, has it been a choppy ride for the markets last week. It was quite an eventful week, which started off with, of course, Donald Trump, but ended up with the demonetization drive that, of course, did cause the markets to take quite a hammering. As you can see, in the last 1 week, we've lost about 137 points in the Nifty, breached the 8,300 mark, 1.67% lower for that one. In fact, even the Sensex has shown the ditto move, 1.67% lower, 453 points shaved off the Sensex. But Chandan, comment on the benchmark indices. Then we have seen the two most volatile events really behind us. Of course, the demonetization drive was quite a surprise, but we do have the Fed elections coming up, or rather the Fed rate hike decisions coming up. So how do you see the markets move going forward?
Yes, we have seen a volatile week as Nifty broken the support of 8,400, corrected to us 8,000, but the recovery was also fizzled out near to 8,600 levels. So overall, the trend is likely to be remain volatile. We have also seen the surge in volatility index. Now, Nifty has to cross and hold above 8,480, then only we may find some stability. And again, extension of this move to us 8,600 levels. While on the downside, as per the option data, it has multiple support near to 8,160 to 8,200 kind of zone.
Okay, those are some important levels that you must monitor, but let's keep it with some individual stocks that you should keep your eye out on. And time to discuss some wealth creation ideas for somebody who has more of a long-term perspective. Mr. Sethi, on the fundamentals, what would you advise?
Yeah, the two stocks which I would like to recommend today would be from the banking sector, because I feel the recent changes which the government has done as far as demonetization of the high currency notes is concerned, high denomination currency notes are concerned, I think that would be pretty positive for the banks, because that would lead to inflow of deposits into the bank, and that will be low cost deposits. So I'm pretty bullish on the banking sector as a whole. So I've chosen two banking stocks. The first would be a Federal Bank. This is a good quality mid-sized bank. The bank reported stellar set of numbers for the September quarter. They improved on almost all fronts. The net profits went up, NIAs went up, and then asset quality also was stable. And I think we would see continued improved performance from the bank in the coming quarters. And to add to that, the valuations also look pretty attractive if you compare it with its peers in the private sector banking space, or for that matter, the NBFC or the microfinance stocks which are trading at exorbitant valuations. This bank looks pretty cheap. And there is interest of market investors also into the bank. So I like the stock at the current levels of around 77, 78. And I have a target of around 115 rupees on the stock in about a year. The second banking stock which I would like to recommend would be an IDFC Bank. This is a new kid on the block. The company also reported pretty good set of numbers for the September quarter, and the asset quality also continues to remain good. And I feel this bank also would be a major beneficiary of the demonetization of the high denomination currency notes which have taken place, because that will lead to a lot of, I'd say, a significant low cost deposit into the bank. Add to that, this bank is likely to be included in the MSCI index on Monday, which could be pretty positive for this stock. So I'm bullish on the stock. The stock, I think, closed at around 74 rupees on Friday. So I think one would do well to buy into the bank at the current levels, and my target would be 110 rupees in about a year.
Okay, those are two recommendations, both from the banking space. Clearly, I believe Mr. Sethi is quite positive on the fundamentals and the future going forward for these two stocks. But Chandan, coming to you then, on the technicals and on the charts, what would you advise viewers, and what is that one chart, or rather the two charts that do look attractive?
Yes, we have seen the outperformance in the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty managed to witness a recovery of 2,000 points, and that clearly indicates that participants are more bullish in the banking stocks than the Nifty and other counters. We have seen the strong surge in the most of the PSU and the private bank, and these stocks are likely to gain the momentum after some consolidation. So I have a positive view on the SBI. Recently, the stock has bottomed out with the support of 235, surpassed the immediate hurdle of 262, 264 zone. Now witness some correction. So looking for a buy on decline strategy, one can buy with a stop loss of 262 for the upside target towards 290 to 300 levels. Second trade is buy on cane. We have seen the strong momentum in the cane and Vedanta, and this stock is not ready to correct even after the sharp market decline. So which is giving an inherent strength of the counter. So we are recommending to buy with a stop loss of 238 and looking for the target towards 270 to 275 levels on the higher side.
Okay, those are some stocks that you can keep your eye out on, SBI as well as Gain India. Thanks so much then Chandan as well as Mr. Sethi for joining us on BNSN Weekend, and thank you viewers for tuning in. With that, it's a goodbye from me and the team, and have a lovely weekend going forward.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.